Welcome back to Vinyl Decal School. Thanks for joining me. I'm always so appreciative of any likes and subscribes, so thank you in advance for those. So I was planning on doing this video anyway. It was on my to-do list, but I thought now was literally the perfect time because Cricut has just come out with a bit of a controversial announcement, and I know a lot of people are considering whether they want to make the move to Silhouette instead. So I have the Cameo 4, but there are 5 machines technically you can choose from Silhouette, plus a 3D printer and a stamp maker, but I'll not talk about those two because I'm more about cutting vinyl. So I thought I would just do a quick overview of the different machines you can choose from, and hopefully it'll help you decide which one is best for you if you're thinking of getting a Silhouette machine. If you're wondering if you should go Silhouette over Cricut, that needs to be a completely different video, and I do intend on doing that at some point, like a proper side-by-side comparison, but I think I'm going to wait until they've announced a little bit more about this recent update and see if they're going to actually go ahead with it or not, because there's been so much outrage. And although I do have both machines, just as a little insight into what I think the pros of getting a Silhouette are, is that the software is a lot better and you can do a lot more on there. Although you can't actually currently get the software on an iPhone or an iPad, so you have to think about that. And also that a lot of the machines have vinyl roll feeders. So you can pull, if you can see, you can pull your vinyl out to sit on one of these, and rather than using a mat, just goes on the feeder, but I'll talk a little bit more about that as the video goes on. So I'll start with the portrait, as that is the smallest one and the cheapest one. If you have limited space and a smaller budget, then this might be a better choice for you. It has an 8-inch cutting width, and if you use the vinyl roll feeder, if you're cutting vinyl or iron on vinyl, you can apparently cut up to 60 feet in length as well. And then it also has like a pop-out feature, so you can cut card and paper without needing a mat too. So basically you can cut up to materials that are like 2mm thick. So it's good for stickers, vinyl, iron on vinyl, card, paper. Because it's so little and lightweight, it's the perfect size to take it on the go with you if you want to take it to like a friend's house or craft shows or something. But then you have to bear in mind that you can't design on it with an iPad or an iPhone, so that would only be good, I think, if you're using Android. I think you can get the app then, or you'd have to take a laptop with you. And then also if you're potentially thinking about selling your creations in future, kind of keeps you quite limited because of that 8-inch width. It means you wouldn't ever be able to make anything really large. So the Cameo is quite similar to the portrait, it's just bigger obviously and can cut slightly thicker stuff. It again has the card pop-out feature and also the vinyl roll feeder, as I've just said, although I've got to say it did take me a while to kind of get used to it. Sometimes when you put the vinyl through it, it doesn't line up properly and it can kind of shift about, and then you end up wasting vinyl. And it has taken me a little bit of time to kind of figure out that feature. I think I pretty much get it every time now, but there is still the odd time where it will mess up. So it's not perfect, but it is amazing like how much more I can get done at a time just because of that, and because I don't have to be restricted to a 12 by 24 mat like I do with my Cricut. Then it can also cut fabric, crepe paper, foam, chipboard, leather and lots more, although you might have to get different blades for some of them. It does come with an auto blade which will cut a variety of stuff, but for the thicker things and fabric you might need to get like a rotary blade or a different one. But it cuts up to 3mm thick basically, and it is apparently 3 times quicker than the Cameo 3, and it has a dual carriage, so you can put like a pen and a blade in and use it on the same project, or 2 different types of blade. It means you don't have to switch them over, which is quite handy. One of the main downsides for me with the Cameo though is that it's just really noisy. I think it's more noisy than my Cricut, but I am kind of just used to it now, and it doesn't really matter in my house if I make a lot of noise. My husband just puts his headphones on, so it's fine. And And so there are 3 versions of the Cameo. This is the Cameo 4, which is 12 inches wide. I didn't see the need to get anything bigger than that because the largest projects I send them in rolls like this. So anything kind of wider than 12 inches wouldn't fit in that anyway. So there was no point me getting the bigger machine. And also I already get 12-inch rolls for my Cricut that are this size, and that's what my storage setup is for, like these size rolls. That's what I use for my Cricut. So it would make no sense to be having to get kind of wider rolls for one machine and the 12-inch rolls for my Cricut. So that's why I stuck with the same size. But if you don't have that issue and this is just your first machine or going to be your only machine, then you can also get the Cameo Plus, which is 15 inches wide, and that will give you like way more area to cut with, so you can get even more done at the same time. And then also the Cameo Pro, which is 24 inches wide, so double the size, but you'd obviously need a lot more room for that. And it basically rivals like the large freestanding professional ones. And it would be great if you want to make like decals for cars or big wall decals or window displays for businesses, like anything a lot bigger than you can do with your standard 12-inch. If you want to be kind of moving into those and selling that type of thing, then you probably do want to go for a bigger machine. Saying that though, if it is just vinyl type stuff you're going to be wanting to cut with it, you might want to shop around a bit because this Cameo Pro is quite expensive. You might actually be able to get another Pro type machine for a bit cheaper or secondhand. So it's worth kind of looking around if you're going for those bigger decals and not being fixed on the idea that you have to go with silhouette. It also does seem to be a little bit harder to get your hands on the 15-inch and 24-inch machines. At least it is here in the UK at the minute. Like every time I've looked, they've been out of stock, and I think with the recent Cricut announcement, it might be even harder to get your hands on one. But maybe Silhouette will think this is a prime time to up the amount of machines they're manufacturing. So we'll see. Then the last machine I'm going to talk about is the Curio, which is a little bit different. It's like a flatbed cutter instead, and there's a 5mm clearance on it. So you can get thicker materials under there and it will sketch, etch, emboss, deboss and stipple those, as well as cutting up to 2mm thick. So this is a machine you want to go for if you're planning on making things like jewellery pendants, clay, embossable foil, or other like tricky and very niche things like that. The surface area for creating is only 6 by 8.5 inches. So it's really not a good choice if you want to cut loads of vinyl and stickers and stuff as well. It is more for those kind of specialist crafting projects. But it does seem really cool if you want to make some really unique creations. Okay, so just to recap, here are the main differences. So the Silhouette Portrait is perfect for making smaller vinyls, smaller iron vinyls, small card and paper projects and sticker sheets. And it's perfect for people who don't have a lot of space, have a smaller budget and mostly want to make smaller crafts. And it's good if you want a portable machine, although obviously just remember that you can't use Silhouette Studio on an iPad or iPhone just yet. So the Cameo 4 Plus and Pro, obviously the 3 different sizes you can get. They're perfect for making the same things you can make with a portrait, but just a bit bigger, plus foam, fabric, chipboard, leather, materials up to 3mm height, basically. And if you want to sell your creations and if you've got enough money saved and want to make larger designs, then these machines are better for you. The Silhouette Curio is perfect for the more unique projects like customized jewellery, 3D reliefs on paper, stippled metal, embossed clay, and various other things like that. It's for people who are probably already into crafting and need some specific techniques from the machine and want to make really unique stuff. And just remember to only ever buy from a reputable seller. Watch out for anyone who seems suspicious or like they might be scamming you, or if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And before you buy, make sure you've got the right spec on your computer or wherever, and make sure you can actually download the software and it runs properly. It's always a good idea to do this before you buy, and then you can try it out as well because you can download it for free. So I hope that helped, whether you've never owned a cutting machine before or if you're thinking of making the move from Cricut to Silhouette. Let me know if there is anything else you are unsure about the machines in the comments. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.